Everyone has a favorite Pokemon game, whether that be the ones who refuse to like the others, the ones that are mostly held in high regard by everybody, or the ones that still confuse me to this day. Since about 2019-2020, the black and white games, the first ones and the sequels, they've been getting a lot of praise and attention, and people are finally realizing that they are genuinely good games. I figured now's the time to shed some love on the 3DS games, the games I grew up with. Also, this is probably going to be a two-part because the script takes forever to write on this, even though it might seem kind of short. Anyway, why the 3DS games are actually pretty good. I'm going to start off with one of the best things this generation introduced, Mega Evolution. I don't care what the competitive scene says. I don't care that they're unbalanced. Mega Evolution was dope. A lot of fan favorite Pokemon got an evolution, and they even gave some to some underutilized and really out there Pokemon as well. They also gave Audino one out of these, but let's not worry about that. The game really wants you to use Mega Evolution, so much so that they give you several Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. Speaking of which, let's go down the gift Pokemon in this game because they're the best of any generation. Right after you beat the first gym, you get to take a Kanto starter. Right after you beat the third gym, you get a Mega Lucario, and then immediately after you can get a Lapras. When the game launched, you could get a Torchic with hidden ability and Blazikenite. You got a shiny Beldum with a Mega Stone when Omega Ruby came out. And speaking of Pokemon, how about we look at some of the Pokemon from this region, because this region only throws bangers. And Diggersby. Oh my god, all these starters look so cool. Which one do I pick? How do you even make mid-evolutions that look good? Never mind, don't look at that one. I'm probably one of like 5 people that think all of the final evolutions look pretty good. Oh my god, the regional bird and bug are pretty cool. Too bad they die from one fucking rock. Oh my god, this line is so cute. So, they made a literal edgelord. I love it. Tell me these aren't top tier fossil Pokemon. How did they make a key ring adorable? Dude, these dragons breathe powerful. Except for you. Now that I've destroyed any opportunity of me making money on this video, let's talk about why this has the best world design of any 3D mainline Pokemon game. You're beautiful. I was gonna compare this to games that came out the same year as it and say that it was good at graphics, but then I saw the games that came out that year and decided not to. Even though the games never really had good graphics, there's still plenty of beautiful places to see. Some of the places that immediately come to mind are Lumio City and the Anastar Gym, not to mention how cool the caves look. Also, the routes in this game are extremely well made. They add so much to this game that I think most people will just straight up overlook it. Now that I brought up what I think the best parts of this game are, let's talk about the worst thing.
I just had a fucking bruh moment.
Yeah, the characters aren't really memorable. Sometimes I forget that these two are part of your friend group, and the only 2 gym leaders people remember are these 2 because that one's a fairy type and the other one gives you a Lucario. There's no such thing as a hard fight in this game, so you'll steamroll everybody, including the Elite Four and the champion. Also, Team Flare makes a big announcement that everyone sees that they're gonna blow up the world, and none of you do anything to stop it. Even though one of you is a literal newscaster and spread the news to everybody, and the other one's the champion who's friends with the leader. There's no way you dipshits didn't hear about it. The professor at the end of the game tells you that he knew that Lysander was gonna pull this shit and did nothing. What is wrong with you? The only thing people remember Az for is being extremely tall and taking up my time with the 2-minute unskippable cutscene. But if you were to ask me what I genuinely thought was the worst part of this game, it's Team Flare. Ah! Jesus Christ! Oh fuck! I think this is the generation where the villains started to downgrade in quality. The grunts in this game are probably the second worst designed out of all of them, except behind Not to mention that the main admins basically all look the same and the only thing that distinguishes them is their hair. And whoever was in charge of naming them should be force-fed cantaloupe for the rest of their life. And Lysander's basically a downgraded version of the past 2 villains, but steamrolling them's easy, which I think gives the game its best quality. X and Y sit at a really weird position when looking at the mainline games. They're not as story rich as Gen 5 or Gen 2, but they're not outright boring like Gen 8 or Gen 4. Despite the plot being generic, this game delivers an experience that no other Pokemon game has been able to replicate since. Honestly, this is the first Pokemon game where you were truly allowed to use any team without struggling, which is why this game is so great as a casual experience or a time killer, cause in all reality, you don't even have to be invested in the story. But even if you are, none of these characters are going to irritate you as some do in future generations. Which is really upsetting because these games are about to turn 10 years old. The Nintendo 3DS eShop is also about to close. So what I'm afraid of is that people are just going to eventually forget about these games. These ones and Gen 7 as a matter of fact. And they'll just be written off as the games that had the blank. Whether that be Mega Evolution or Z moves. Though in my opinion, they deserve to be known as the greatest casual Pokemon experience.
Hold up. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding.